My beloved child, I have been watching over you from the very beginning, and I know the soft whispers in your heart that often go unheard by others. For even when darkness seems to stretch out before you, my light continues to shine upon your path. Every moment you rise in the morning with hope or retire at night with worry, I stand guard, ever present, ever faithful, ensuring that you will not falter beyond what your spirit can endure. Do not let your heart be troubled when shadows loom, because I have already prepared a place of peace for your soul, a refuge where sorrows melt into the warmth of my grace. So come close and open your heart, for I have chosen you from before time began. And there is no trial too fierce, no mountain too high, that can stand against my promise to lead you onward. I want you to breathe deeply now, trusting me with your burdens, because I am your steadfast anchor, holding you steady in life's rough seas. Stand tall with that assurance, secure in the knowledge that greater blessings are on the horizon. I see the weariness in your eyes on days when life's demands feel overwhelming, and there is a silent plea in your soul for rest, for hope, for a reason to press on. You wonder sometimes if you are truly significant, or if I, the creator of the universe, genuinely care about your smallest fears. Let me assure you right now, I hold you more tenderly than the most careful mother holds her newborn. Even the tears you hide behind a brave smile are fully known to me, and I gather each one as though they were priceless diamonds in the palms of my hands. Do not fear being overlooked or cast aside, because my gaze is fixed upon you, and my devotion to you never wanes. Stand firm in this truth, for you are the cherished object of my unending care. You might recall moments when you felt utterly alone, as if no one truly heard your heart's cry, and you questioned whether there was any purpose beyond the endless tasks and obligations that fill your days. When you stand at the sink late at night, reflecting on everything that went wrong, or all you might have done better, know that I am there, softly whispering words of comfort and guidance. And when you awaken, uncertain about the next steps, I gently nudge you to remember how infinitely valuable you are, like a precious jewel that sparkles brightest in my hand. Do not let discouragement define you, for you are a masterpiece I have fashioned with exquisite care. Keep your eyes on me, secure in the knowledge that your value is immeasurable. You have always been on my mind, for even before you entered this world, I formed a unique design for your life. There is not a breath you take that I do not anticipate, nor a single one of your thoughts that escapes my understanding. I have traced out a plan to bring you closer to love, joy, and a blessed inheritance that transcends any temporary difficulty in this life. So do not think of yourself as one who is forgotten or forsaken, because I am closer to you than your own heartbeat. I am the one who calls you my beloved child, and I will not let your foot slip from the path I have laid for you. Take courage in that promise, and look toward tomorrow with renewed expectation. I know the long nights when your mind races with the worries of this world, from financial strains to concerns about loved ones who seem distant or troubled. Perhaps you even wrestle with unspoken regrets or fears, questioning your worthiness and whether I still listen after all this time. My dear one, you must remember that my love for you is not diminished by your doubts or by the stumbles along your journey. Like a shepherd who leaves the 99 sheep to find the lost one, I actively pursue you, searching every corner of your life to extend my mercy. Do not give up on yourself or your dreams, because I am a God who breathes life into what seems dead, hope into the darkest nights. Embrace this assurance, for the dawn of new possibilities always rises when you trust in my steadfast presence. Sometimes you carry a quiet pain in your heart that no one else perceives, and you might wonder if relief will ever come. In those moments, I long to wrap you in a comforting embrace, reminding you that I hold your entire being securely in my arms. The storms you face, whether the storm of a failing relationship, of a chronic illness, or the heavy guilt that haunts your conscience, none are too great for the shelter of my wings. Picture yourself standing in the midst of a turbulent sea, yet feeling a calm hand guiding you towards safer shores. That hand is mine, extended lovingly toward you even now. Let your fears wash away in the tide of my compassion, standing refreshed by the promise of my deliverance. Your life has not been a string of random events. I have woven purpose into the tapestry of each day. Even if you feel like a small thread lost in an expansive design, know that I am skillfully shaping the bigger picture to reveal my glory. When you feel insignificant because the world moves too fast and your contributions seem tiny, look to the mustard seed I spoke of long ago, a minuscule seed that grows into a mighty tree. Your faith and your existence might appear modest at first glance, but through my power, they can flourish beyond what you imagine. Do not belittle the gifts I have placed in you, for in my hands they become vessels of immeasurable grace. With that hope fueling your spirit, move ahead with confidence, for I am working wonders even now. I am intimately aware of your joys and triumphs, those times when you find yourself beaming from ear to ear because something wonderful happened. Perhaps you received good news about a job, or a dear friend reached out at just the right moment. I celebrate those joys with you, for I delight in watching your heart dance and your face shine with gratitude. Yet I also share in your tears, feeling the weight of every heartbreak and every disappointment you endure. When you ask if anyone truly comprehends your swirling emotions, remember that I, who fashioned your heart, also know the depth of its ache. Do not hesitate to run to me with laughter or with sorrow, for I accept them all and transform each emotion into growth for your spirit. Rest assured, brighter days are just around the corner. No valley is too deep and no desert too barren for my presence to fill, because I see you fully, even in what you consider your darkest moments. If you find yourself in the grip of despair, battling thoughts that you are beyond hope, let me gently dispel those lies. You matter profoundly to me, and I will not stand by while you feel lost or alone. Just as I led the Israelites through the wilderness with a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night, so I lead you through every stage of your life, guiding you, sustaining you, and ensuring that even the harshest environment becomes a path to something greater. Do not yield to discouragement, because a breakthrough of my peace is set to come. When the weight of guilt presses on your heart because of things done or left undone, remember that my grace is stronger than any transgression. I see the earnest desire within you to make amends, to heal the wounds that might have been inflicted through your words or actions. Know that I am a God of forgiveness, ready to blot out every stain when you turn to me and ask. Like the father who runs to greet his prodigal son, I rush to cover your shame with my robe of mercy. Your past mistakes do not disqualify you from my love. Rather, they illuminate the wonder of my redemption. So come to me with open hands, unburdened by shame, for I lift you higher than your regrets. Walk forward now with the peace of a new start. Have you ever felt as though you are trudging through deep mud with each step heavier than the last, and wondered if you should simply give up? In such a moment, I reach out with clarity and guidance, reminding you that I offer rest to the weary and a renewed path for those who feel stuck. Let my voice lead you out of the mire of confusion, for I will set your feet upon solid ground, where hope and direction blossom. Even if you feel you have nothing left to give, trust that I can multiply the little you have into an abundance of blessings, just as I multiplied the loaves and fish for the hungry crowds. Do not despair. Instead, hand over your burdens to me, and watch how I transform desperation into divine opportunity. I marvel at the tenderness in your heart when you attempt to care for others, sometimes neglecting your own needs because compassion overflows from your soul. But I want you to realize that you are also worthy of care, that you deserve to rest in the embrace of my love without apology. Let me renew you, filling your spirit with the water of life so that you may continue to pour out love without depleting your own reservoir. Self-sacrifice is noble, but it should never lead to forgetting the immense value I place on your well-being. Do not deprive yourself of the comfort and support I readily offer. Breathe in that reassurance and step into a new level of calm, knowing I hold you gently in my hands. My child, I know every season you've walked through, from the springtime of youthful dreams to the autumn of maturing reflections, and I acknowledge how each transition has shaped the person you are today. When regrets about lost opportunities or fading moments creep into your mind, let me remind you that I specialize in bringing new life from seemingly barren places. Even if you feel your prime has passed or your best days are behind you, my power transcends the boundaries of time, and I can do remarkable things regardless of your season. I call you still, beckoning you with purpose and promise, because I am never done working in your life until I bring you into complete wholeness. Embrace this perspective and move forward expecting to flourish again. I hold a boundless supply of strength, and I stand ready to infuse that strength into your spirit whenever you feel weak. You may be carrying invisible burdens, perhaps the responsibility of caring for a loved one, the exhaustion from your workplace challenges, or the emotional toll of feeling misunderstood, and you wonder if you can last another day. In these depths, I tell you wholeheartedly, lean on me, for my power is made perfect in your weakness. Like a steady rock that does not budge despite torrents of rain, I remain steadfast, unwavering, and resolute in my commitment to uphold you. You need only trust that I am indeed strong enough, and that you do not have to shoulder every weight alone. Renew your resolve right now, assured that my unwavering support belongs to you. My promise has always been that I will never leave you nor forsake you, even if your earthly circumstances scream otherwise. Some days, you might look around and see failures stacking up or relationships fraying at the edges, causing you to assume I have grown distant. My beloved, that is not the truth, for I have drawn even closer in such moments. Like the disciples on a storm-tossed boat who panicked, thinking I did not care, you might feel equally desperate. Yet recall how I stilled those raging waters with a single word, demonstrating that I was present and in control all along. Do not let the tumult of your life convince you that I am absent, for I remain forever near. Rejoice in that steadfast closeness, and look ahead knowing my presence charts your course. There is an old story of a weary traveler who carried a heavy sack of burdens on a long road, unaware that help was offered at every turn, if only they would pause and accept it. You, my dear child, sometimes mirror that traveler, pressing forward with your personal load, believing you must handle it all alone. Yet I am the one offering a helping hand, a shoulder to rest upon, and a peaceful shelter when storms rage. I urge you to open your eyes and truly perceive my assistance at work in your life. From unexpected phone calls that uplift your spirit to seemingly small coincidences that lead you to find just what you needed at just the right time, I orchestrate each detail to remind you that I am near. Unload your worries upon me and be freed to walk without the crippling weight of fear. Some of your dreams may have faded to the background because the world told you they were too big, too unrealistic, or simply unworthy of pursuit. But my perspective on your dreams is not limited by earthly reasoning. I plant desires in your heart not to torment you with false hope, but to collaborate with you in bringing them to fruition. Yes, there will be challenges, but remember how David stood against Goliath with seemingly impossible odds, empowered by trust in my might. So do not bury your aspirations out of fear that they will never come to pass. Bring them before me in prayer, and watch how I guide your steps, aligning everything for the good of your destiny. Dare to believe that I, who created you, can also empower the visions I placed within you. Even in the earliest days of your life, I have whispered affirmation over you, that you are enough, that you are worthy of my love, and that you are uniquely crafted to shine. Tragically, life can drown out that voice, filling your mind with criticism, comparison, and insecurity. But I urge you to silence the noise of negative self-talk and reconnect with the truth I have been speaking all along. You are precious in my sight, a masterwork that testifies to my creative brilliance. Though the world may rank individuals by success and appearances, I see through to your heart, discerning the genuine beauty within you. Do not reduce yourself to society's measurements, for in my eyes, your value has been decided from the start. Take hold of that certainty and walk in confidence. You might feel uncertain about your future, especially in times of global upheaval or personal turmoil, when nothing seems predictable anymore. Perhaps your career path feels unstable, or your loved ones are scattered, leaving you feeling adrift. Yet I remind you that I am the same yesterday, today, and forever, and in me there is an unshakable foundation that the world's chaos cannot uproot. Like a lighthouse guiding ships in the night, my wisdom and protection remain constant, even when storms rage. Resist the temptation to let worry overshadow your faith. Instead, commit your path to me, for I work all things together for the good of those who love me. Trust in that unchanging principle, and let my presence lead you into a tomorrow graced with promise. Sometimes you look at others and see their successes or the blessings they enjoy, and you wonder why your own prayers seem to remain unanswered. You may even feel overlooked or envy creeping in, questioning whether my love for you is somehow less. Let me assure you, my plans for you are carefully arranged and timed. Just as a seed needs the right season to break forth from the earth, your breakthroughs will come in the season perfectly appointed for you. Rejoice with those who celebrate, for your turn will also arrive in due time. Do not doubt my timing, for I see the grand tapestry, and I know precisely when to bring each thread of your life into alignment with the destiny I have envisioned. Hold on to hope, and let gratitude keep your heart open for the blessings on the way. Every heartbreak, every disappointment, and every dashed expectation can become a stepping stone if placed in my hands. I know how it feels when trust is broken or when you have poured out love only to be met with betrayal or indifference. In those deep wounds, I extend my compassionate touch, for I am the great healer who binds up the brokenhearted. Instead of letting bitterness take root, I invite you to give me your pain so that I can transform it into wisdom, empathy, and renewed focus on what truly matters. My plan is never to leave you broken, but to mend you in ways that surpass your imagination, refashioning your sorrow into the seeds of profound joy. Stand on that assurance, and let tomorrow begin with renewed expectation of healing. On your journey, you will encounter voices that question your convictions and challenge the faith that has sustained you. Though you may be tempted to shrink back or water down what you believe for fear of rejection, I urge you to remain steadfast. Remember how Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego refused to bow down to idols, even under the threat of the fiery furnace. Their unwavering trust in my power saw them through, and I delivered them without even a singed garment. So do not yield to the pressure to abandon what I have planted in you. Faith is a shield that protects from the arrows of doubt and despair. Grip that shield tightly, and let your steadfastness shine as a testament to my sustaining grace. There are moments when you wrestle with questions that have no immediate answers, which might lead you into a swirling vortex of confusion. You wonder why certain prayers remain unanswered or why innocent people suffer, and you might fear that no satisfactory explanation exists. In such times, I encourage you to recall the story of Job, who sought answers through his immense trials, yet found solace in trusting my sovereignty even before clarity was revealed. You may not grasp every detail of my plan, but know that I am just, loving, and infinitely wiser than the human mind can fathom. Do not let confusion harden your heart. Instead, place your uncertainties in my hands, trusting that my perspective sees the end from the beginning. Cling to that confidence and move forward in peace. I have never asked you to be perfect or flawless. Rather, I call you to walk with me day by day, embracing growth and transformation. When you stumble, when you say things you regret, or when your actions betray the love you genuinely want to show, I remain ready to guide you back onto the right path. Like a potter shaping clay, I patiently mold you, smoothing out cracks and refining your character. You do not need to hide your imperfections from me, for I see them clearly and still call you beloved. Do not be ashamed of your humanity, because I specialize in using weak vessels to demonstrate my glory. Take heart in that beautiful truth. There is no flaw in you too great for my hands to restore. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the gentle breeze blowing through a quiet meadow, or the serene stillness of a calm lake at dawn. That peace you envision is only a small reflection of the profound peace I offer in my presence. When anxieties mount and your mind races, come to me in prayer. Your words need not be formal or perfect. Just speak from your heart, as though you were talking to your closest friend. Prayer is not a ritual meant to burden you. It is a lifeline that connects your soul to mine, allowing me to fill you with reassurance and clarity. In your communion with me, you will find a tranquility that surpasses all human understanding. Embrace that lasting peace and carry it with you each day. You might sometimes feel that your contributions to the world go unseen, especially when responsibilities like parenting, community service, or caring for the elderly yield no immediate applause or recognition. But I see every small act of kindness, every meal prepared with love, every encouraging word offered to someone in despair. Such actions may never make headlines, but they echo profoundly in my heavenly kingdom. Like the widow who gave 2 small coins out of her poverty, I count each gesture of kindness as a precious treasure. Do not be disheartened if your labor appears invisible, for I, the one who rewards openly, acknowledge your faithfulness. Let that knowledge energize you, fueling your dedication to keep doing good. There may be a time you pause and wonder, does it truly matter if I persevere, or would it be easier to walk away from this path of faith? In those moments of questioning, recall that I have never once relinquished my hold on you, even when you have considered letting go. I invested my very heart in loving you to the fullest, offering grace through every valley you have traversed. Your journey is meaningful because it is intertwined with the destiny I designed especially for you, a destiny that reverberates with eternal significance. Do not belittle the calling I have placed upon you. Press onward, remembering that the race is not given to the swift alone, but to those who endure with unwavering trust in me. Take one more step forward, confident that I provide strength to the weary. I notice how you sometimes yearn for a simpler past, longing for days when responsibilities were fewer and hopes seemed boundless. Yet I assure you, the future I have planned holds wonders that outweigh even the most cherished memories. You are not journeying backward. Rather, I am guiding you toward transformation that refines your spirit and magnifies my love in your life. I will turn your mourning into dancing, your anxieties into testimonies of my faithfulness. Let go of nostalgic regrets and be fully present in the now, believing that I am orchestrating new blessings around each corner. With that outlook, greet tomorrow with anticipation of my renewing power. As you reflect on the ways you have grown, you may see some areas of your life still marred by old hurts or patterns that hinder your progress. Do not be alarmed if these issues resurface, for healing is a process, sometimes unfolding slowly but ever moving forward. I promise to remain by your side, nurturing the seeds of change I have planted within you. Continue to surrender your weaknesses in prayer and watch how my light gradually dispels the shadows within. Though progress may come in small increments, each step is significant in my eyes, and every victory, no matter how slight, adds to a life rich in transformation. Stand encouraged, knowing your heart is in my expert care. When you ponder the unrelenting pace of life, deadlines, errands, obligations, it can feel like you are caught in an unending cycle that leaves little room for reflection or connection with me. Yet I softly call you to break away, even for brief moments, to center your heart on my presence. In that quiet communion, you will find that I alleviate restlessness and grant wisdom beyond your own understanding. The time you set apart for me is never wasted. It becomes the fertile ground from which revelations, inspirations, and renewed perspectives grow. So, do not relegate me to the margins of your day. Invite me into every mundane task and fleeting moment. Let this renewed intimacy restore your spirit and anchor your focus in eternal hope. I am not a distant deity perched in the heavens, detached from the realities of human struggle. Instead, I embrace your human experience through my empathy and limitless compassion. Whenever you feel misunderstood by those around you, rest in the comfort that I comprehend every nuance of your emotions. From the greatest joys to the smallest irritations, my love encompasses it all. Do not assume you must sanitize your thoughts before bringing them to me. Pour out your soul with honesty, and let me respond by flooding your heart with the solace and guidance you seek. I am here, arms open wide, ready to receive you exactly as you are. Often you hesitate to move forward in faith because you do not yet see the entire path, and you fear stepping into the unknown might lead to failure. But recall that I have always encouraged my children to walk in trust. Abraham left his homeland, not knowing where I would guide him, but found a legacy of blessing. Trust is not about possessing all the answers. It is about placing your hand in mine, confident that I see what lies ahead. Do not demand a blueprint for every detail. Rather, trust that I am both your guide and your protector, leading you toward the promises I have for you. Step forward in faith, assured that I walk every step beside you. I treasure the small expressions of gratitude that spring from your heart. When you notice a beautiful sunset and silently thank me, or when you reflect on a near-miss accident, recognizing my intervention. These acknowledgments of thanks feed your soul, deepening your capacity to see my fingerprints in daily life. Let gratitude be more than a fleeting thought. May it dwell in your heart like a constant melody, reminding you that I am the source of every good and perfect gift. When you cultivate thanksgiving, you make room for hope and joy to flourish, even amid trials. Keep that melody alive, and watch how every facet of your life becomes infused with a sense of wonder and praise. Sometimes your spirit may ache for validation and acceptance, prompting you to seek approval in places that cannot truly satisfy the longing within. Remember, I designed your heart to find its ultimate fulfillment in relationship with me. No earthly accolade can replace the deep affirmation I provide, an affirmation rooted in unconditional love and grace. Whenever you feel compelled to chase fleeting praise or chase measures of success that fade with time, pause and return to me. Let my words define your identity, for I call you beloved, worthy, and redeemed. Let go of the frantic search for approval and rest in the truth that you are already chosen. When you gaze upon the night sky and see countless stars spread across the heavens, consider how they serve as reminders of my boundless majesty. Just as I set each star in place, I have uniquely positioned you in this life to shine for a divine purpose. Your time here is not accidental. Your presence on earth is woven into my cosmic design. Do not doubt that you have a role, no matter how big or small it may appear. Like the stars, each twinkle contributes to the grand beauty of the night sky, and you, my child, add brilliance to the tapestry of humanity. Take courage in this cosmic perspective and continue to shine in the place I have planted you. Doubt may sometimes whisper in your ear that I do not hear your prayers or that your petitions vanish into emptiness. But know that no sincere prayer falls on deaf ears. I am continually attuned to your voice, and each plea, each sigh, each word of thanksgiving is taken into my heart. There are times the answers come swiftly, and times they unfold slowly, in ways you cannot immediately perceive. Trust my timing, for my vision of the future is unbounded by the limitations of the present. Do not stop praying, do not stop believing, and do not stop hoping for the miraculous. My ear is bent toward your cries, and my response will come exactly when it is needed. The inevitable trials of life sometimes persuade you to build protective walls around your heart, believing that isolation might shield you from further harm. Yet you were created to love and be loved, to open your heart in vulnerability, even if it risks hurt. Within the safety of my arms, find the courage to remove those barriers, knowing that I can heal wounds and teach you discernment so you can love wisely. Each time you extend kindness or forgiveness, you reflect my character and allow my healing power to flow through you. Do not let bitterness or fear imprison your empathy. Continue to let love, which is the greatest of all virtues, define your interactions. I rejoice every time you choose to draw near to me, whether it is in a quiet morning devotion, a spontaneous moment of thanks, or a gentle reflection as you go about your day. These instances of closeness are not mere routine, they are soul-level connections that strengthen our bond. I pour out my spirit in those moments, offering renewal and insight that transform how you see yourself and the world around you. Never underestimate the value of those personal encounters, for they shape your heart in alignment with my will. Treasure our communion and anticipate that each new day offers yet another invitation to experience my presence in a deeper way. Yes, I know you have faced disappointments in relationships, finances, or even personal goals. You may be tempted to pull back, to temper your expectations, so you never have to face the sting of letdown again. But that protective mechanism can rob you of the joyful surprises I have lined up for you. Let faith arise once more, even if it means daring to believe in goodness after encountering hardship. Just as a planted seed must break open before new life emerges, sometimes your heartbreak paves the way for a deeper joy you would never have known otherwise. Hand me your disappointments, and I will turn them into a hopeful vision of what is yet to unfold. In moments when you feel that your prayers are feeble or inadequate, remember the widow who had no grand offering but gave all she had, 2 mites, worth far less than what others contributed. Yet I commended her for her faith. Similarly, your prayers, even if uttered through trembling lips, are immeasurably powerful because they come from a sincere heart. My power is not measured by human standards of eloquence or quantity. Rather, your honesty and dependency move me to act on your behalf. So speak openly, believing that my hands will move in ways both seen and unseen. Do not disparage your small prayers. In my kingdom, they resonate with great might. Occasionally, you may sense that your faith is waning, as though the flames within you have dimmed and only embers remain. Take heart, for even a smoldering wick I will not snuff out. I breathe on that spark, revitalizing your devotion and reigniting the fervor that once fueled your spirit. Your faith journey ebbs and flows over time, and I understand that life's storms can test your resolve. But never assume that a faint flicker signifies an end. Surrender yourself to me again, letting my spirit kindle your passion so that it radiates like a torch, illuminating the path before you. Renew your commitment and step forward with fresh zeal. Your past, with all its missteps, can sometimes be wielded by the enemy to keep you trapped in guilt or shame. Yet I promise that anyone who comes to me with a contrite heart is freed by the power of forgiveness. Your story is being rewritten even now, as I cleanse and restore every chapter that once caused regret. Your identity is not shaped by your darkest moments, but by my ceaseless mercy and grace. Accept this truth and step out of the shadows that no longer define you. You are my redeemed child, destined for victory, not defeat. Relish that freedom and shine brightly as a testimony of my unending kindness. I have witnessed how you sometimes look for validation through achievements or possessions, believing that security lies in these earthly things. But the greatest treasure you can possess is a relationship with me, a priceless, eternal bond that no worldly success can replicate. When you build your foundation on my words, you stand solid against any storm, be it failure or loss. Material gains may wither and accolades fade, but my love and promises remain unshaken. So invest yourself in nurturing our relationship. Draw closer to me through prayer, reflection, and acts of love toward others. Let the wealth of spiritual fulfillment anchor your heart, so you may live in contentment and generosity every day. You wonder sometimes if your heartfelt service goes unseen, especially when no immediate or tangible fruit appears. Remember how a farmer sows seeds in faith, not always witnessing immediate growth, yet trusting that in time, the harvest will come. Likewise, every act of service or kindness performed in my name plants seeds in hearts, seeds that may take root far beyond what your eyes can see. Do not lose hope if the outcome seems hidden. Trust that I use each act to accomplish my will in ways far greater than you can imagine. Let this assurance sustain your diligence, and let your spirit remain expectant for the bounty I will produce in due season. Occasionally, you may be weighed down by comparing your life to others, questioning why their paths seem smoother or more fruitful. But you must recall that I have charted a route unique to you, one perfectly tailored to refine your character and fulfill your distinct calling. Like different instruments in an orchestra, each of you plays a vital role, blending into a harmonious symphony under my direction. Resist the urge to measure your progress by someone else's achievements. Instead, celebrate the diversity of my children's journeys, confident that I am orchestrating your steps just as carefully. Embrace your individuality and move forward in the peace that I know exactly how to guide you. When challenges arise that test your patience and endurance, see them as opportunities to deepen your reliance on me. Trials are not punishment, they are crucibles that refine your spirit, revealing hidden strengths and forging a closer bond between us. Reflect on the lives of the apostles, who faced constant hardships yet grew exponentially in faith and boldness. If I allowed them to face opposition, it was never to break them, but to elevate them to new levels of perseverance and trust. So when you encounter difficulties, instead of recoiling, press in closer, letting my grace shine brighter through your perseverance. Face adversity with courage, convinced that I am shaping you into a vessel of enduring hope. From the moment I breathed life into your soul, I have known every path you would tread, every choice you would contemplate, and every struggle you would bear. Nothing takes me by surprise, and my plan accounts for all the twists and turns of your journey. Even your detours and delays can be woven into a masterful story of redemption. You might fear you have strayed too far or taken too long to return, but know that my arms remain open. I stand at the crossroads, calling you back each time with unconditional love. Do not let past detours or extended wanderings keep you from returning to my embrace. Home is where I am, and I rejoice every time you walk back into my presence. The simplest moments, like a child's laughter, a gentle breeze, or the quiet companionship of a friend, are sacred gifts from me to remind you that I delight in blessing you, not just in the monumental life-changing events, but in the small details that adorn each day. Pay attention to these subtle graces, for they speak of my tenderness toward you. By cherishing what the world may call small, you cultivate gratitude that shields your heart from the harshness of cynicism. Look around with fresh eyes, and you will find traces of my handiwork wherever you are. Embrace those traces of love, letting them lift your spirit to higher realms of thankfulness and praise. I have consistently provided examples in Scripture of men and women who felt unworthy or ill-equipped, but rose to greatness through my empowerment. Moses claimed he could not speak eloquently, yet led an entire nation out of bondage. Esther was an orphan, yet became a queen and saved her people. Gideon saw himself as the least in his family, yet triumphed as a mighty warrior. These stories stand as testaments to the truth that I choose you not for your pedigree, but for the humble willingness of your heart. If you feel small or insignificant, remember that I often select the overlooked to accomplish my will in spectacular ways. Let that realization inspire you to trust that I can work mightily through you. In your struggles, you may have turned to various forms of comfort, entertainment, unhealthy habits, or fleeting pleasures, only to find that they cannot address the root of your weariness. I implore you now, come to me and find authentic rest, for my burden is light, and I provide a solace deeper than any fleeting distraction. True rejuvenation for your soul lies in my presence, where you will discover healing and a joy not dependent on circumstances. Leave behind those empty wells that promise refreshment, but yield only dryness. Surrender your weariness, and let my living water refresh your spirit. Walk away from this moment empowered, knowing you have found the source of eternal contentment. At times, you stand at the edge of a pivotal decision, heart racing as you contemplate the risk of stepping forward. Though uncertainty can be frightening, remember that I am here, guiding you like a lighthouse in the fog. When I nudge you toward growth, be it a new opportunity, a reconciled relationship, or a bold pursuit of your calling, trust that I have gone before you to prepare the way. Fear may beg you to remain where you are, but faith beckons you to trust my leading. Step out with courage, convinced that I am your shield and your strong fortress. Receive the confidence that even if you stumble, I will uphold you with my righteous hand. Daily life might feel monotonous, causing you to question whether routine tasks hold any significance in the grand scheme. However, do not underestimate the power of consistency and devotion in everyday matters. Like the steady stream that carves through rock over time, your faithful habits shape your destiny and deepen your relationship with me. Each simple act, waking up to pray, offering encouragement to a neighbor, or faithfully doing your job, builds an unbreakable chain of commitment that fortifies your spirit. Celebrate these daily victories, for they accumulate into a lifetime of spiritual fruitfulness. Keep on being faithful in the small, and anticipate the great rewards I have promised. Your identity in me is not something you must earn or prove. Rather, it is a gift bestowed by grace. When you accept that you are already cherished and approved by me, you liberate yourself from the exhausting pursuit of external validations. Free from that weight, you can devote your energy to living out the purpose I designed for you, serving others, cultivating love, and shining truth in a world desperate for real hope. When condemnation tries to rob you of joy, remember that in my eyes you are radiant with potential, cleansed by forgiveness, and called to a noble purpose. Stand tall in that identity and keep your gaze fixed on the immeasurable love I offer. When the storms of life roar, You may feel tempted to focus on the towering waves of trouble before you. However, I encourage you to lift your eyes above the turmoil and place your trust in me, the one who commands even the winds and the seas. Fear not the magnitude of your crisis. Fear instead the possibility of forgetting my omnipotence and letting doubt reign in your heart. Each trial you overcome through reliance on me becomes a testimony, an anchor of faith you can cling to in future storms. Do not be afraid of the tempests you face. Instead, stand confidently in my saving power, convinced that every hurricane eventually subsides under my authority. As you reflect on how far you have come, you might feel gratitude for my guidance that carried you through valleys you once thought impossible to cross. Give yourself permission to celebrate these milestones, for they remind you of my unwavering fidelity in your life. I rejoice with you in each triumph, from big achievements to small personal victories. Pause to remember, if I was faithful then, I will be faithful now, and I will be faithful yet again. My track record is impeccable, and I do not change. Keep that historical proof of my goodness alive in your memory, using it as a springboard for greater faith in the days ahead. I know that living out your convictions can be challenging in a world that often values convenience over truth. Yet I call you to be a light, a city set on a hill that cannot be hidden. Let integrity guide your actions, compassion steer your interactions, and humility shield you from self-righteousness. The consistent radiance of your character, shaped by my word, can illuminate hearts that wander in spiritual darkness. Even if your light appears small, remember that in utter darkness, even a single flame makes a transformative difference. Remain steadfast in representing my goodness, and trust that I will multiply your efforts for the sake of my kingdom. Your senses capture fleeting glimpses of the tangible world, but the eternal realm is also very real, brimming with angelic protection and my watchful care. You are never truly alone, though you might not see my invisible interventions. Recall the story of Elisha's servant, who feared an approaching army until his eyes were opened to behold chariots of fire surrounding them in protection. In the same way, my heavenly host encamps around you, safeguarding your steps. Do not let physical isolation convince you that help is out of reach. I am surrounding you, and my angels are ready to minister to you. Walk forward, aware that a grander reality envelops your every move. In your interactions with those you find difficult to love, know that I also beckon you to demonstrate grace and kindness, even when every fiber of your being resists. That challenging person in your life may be a reflection of your own weaknesses, prompting you to grow in patience and empathy. Love them as I have loved you, remembering that while you were yet imperfect, I extended mercy without hesitation. As you extend the same mercy, you participate in a divine current of compassion that can soften even the hardest hearts. Do not withhold forgiveness. By letting it flow freely, you mirror my boundless grace. In so doing, you become an agent of healing in a fractured world. I delight not only in hearing your prayers of request and need, but also in receiving your adoration and praise. When you take a moment to simply recognize who I am, Creator, Redeemer, Sustainer, and offer heartfelt worship, you draw closer to the core of our relationship. Like a father cherishing the unprompted affection of his child, I cherish these sacred moments of communion that spring from pure reverence and love. Praise shifts your perspective, lifting your focus from the limitations of your circumstances to the limitless magnitude of my glory. Let this form of prayer be an anchor for your soul, securing you in the knowledge of my ever-present majesty. Whenever your trust is broken by the imperfections of people, it may cause you to project that disappointment onto me, questioning if I too might fail you. But recall that I am not bound by human flaws or weaknesses. My love is perfect, my faithfulness unwavering, and my words never return void. People may stumble. I will not. Let the inevitability of human error lead you into deeper reliance on my unbreakable character. If you have been hurt by broken promises, bring those wounds to me. I will heal your heart and reaffirm that my promises stand firm across the ages. Do not let human frailty deter your devotion to me, for I remain eternally steadfast. I see your efforts to care for those whom life has dealt difficult hands, the elderly neighbor, the struggling single parent, or the lonely co-worker. Each gesture of empathy, done in love, reflects my own heart for the broken and marginalized. Continue to show kindness, for in serving the least of these you serve me. Though society may overlook the needy and regard them as burdens, I see their worth, and I call you to be an extension of my compassion. Through every act of selflessness, you become my hands and feet, bringing comfort where it is sorely needed. Rest assured, I will continue to equip and strengthen you to shine the light of hope. In those quiet moments when you ponder the purpose of your existence, let me remind you that you were created for so much more than mere survival. I designed you to flourish, to partake in the richness of love, creativity, fellowship, and worship. Your soul longs for meaning, for a sense of calling that transcends the mundane. Pay attention to the passions I've placed in your heart and consider how to use them for a greater good. Whether through art, service, teaching, or leading, I have equipped you with talents uniquely suited to bring my light into the world. Answer that inner calling, trusting that I will guide each endeavor toward a harvest of lasting fruit. I know the complexity of your human emotions, how gratitude can mingle with grief, or love can coexist with frustration. You are wonderfully intricate, and I cherish the full range of who you are. Do not hide your complexity. Instead, let it draw you closer to me, allowing me to navigate you through the labyrinth of conflicting feelings. Remember that King David, who was a man after my own heart, poured out every emotion before me, lamenting in sorrow, exulting in joy, trembling in fear, and repenting in shame. Come as you are, layered with joy and pain, and I will meet you in that authentic place. Know that I accept you fully, just as you are. Consider the lilies of the field, which neither toil nor spin, yet I clothe them with splendor. Consider the birds of the air, which neither sow nor reap, yet I provide their nourishment. How much more then do I care for you, my cherished child? When material concerns gnaw at your peace of mind, rent, bills, groceries, look around at creation and see my sustaining power on display. Let that reminder ease your anxieties about provision. I am Jehovah Jireh, the God who provides, and I have never failed to meet the needs of those who place their trust in me. Cast aside your worries and let confidence in my care anchor your soul. In seasons when your spiritual fervor feels diminished and you question whether you are making any impact, remember the story of how a tiny spark can ignite a raging fire. Even the smallest ember of faith, when fanned by my Spirit, can become a mighty flame. Do not dismiss the incremental progress or the subtle ways in which you influence others. A kind word, a patient gesture, or a quiet example of forgiveness can spark transformation in someone else's life. Believe in the ripple effect of goodness, for what appears small to you can echo mightily in my kingdom. Stay faithful and trust that I multiply even the smallest seeds sown in love. As you look to the future, do so with anticipation, confident that I, who have started a good work in you, will see it through to completion. Your journey has had its ups and downs, yet my plan remains on course, and my love for you stands untouched. Keep your spirit open to my guidance, and continue to grow in the grace and knowledge of truth. Face every new day with a heart that says, "Yes, Lord, I trust you." Each time you affirm this trust, you weave another thread into the tapestry of a life lived abundantly. Let gratitude for my never-ending faithfulness spur you onward with hope in your heart. My love for you transcends every border, physical, emotional, and spiritual. It is not confined by time or space, nor is it deterred by any fault you may perceive in yourself. This love remains steadfast and unwavering, a rock upon which you can always lean. No matter how fiercely the winds of change blow, no matter how loud the voices of doubt echo, my love stands as your safe harbor. Let that reality sink deep into your spirit, dispelling every lie that would minimize your worth. You are enveloped by a divine love so vast that it can quell every fear and soothe every sorrow. Embrace it wholeheartedly and live from the abundance of that sacred assurance. I bless you now with a peace that the world cannot provide and a joy that transcends human understanding. May you walk forward with a renewed sense of my presence, confident that I have already paved the way for the blessings you seek. Every day is another opportunity to see my hand at work, guiding you toward the fulfillment of divine purpose and grace. Trust that I have you securely and that the best is yet to be revealed. Stand tall in this promise, letting my peace rest upon your heart like a gentle, reassuring embrace. Look ahead with unshakable confidence, trusting that your tomorrow is held in the palm of my hand. You are not alone, and you never will be, for my devotion and companionship are everlasting. Step into the days ahead, brimming with faith and covered in my love. Remain hopeful and steadfast, for I am with you always, my precious child. The story is not over. The journey continues, guided by my gentle and mighty hand. Now go in peace, carrying this promise as a beacon that lights your way.